huge card on slate today.
15-game card. It's us versus the bookies. Bases loaded. High noon. It's going to be a showdown.
On a suddenly not so casual Friday, the buy hat is engaged. Will Davis Martin and the White Sox beat Garrett Cole in the Bronx tonight? Will Framber Valdez get revenge against the Astros in Houston? Find out right now. It is MLB Bases Loaded, Tuesday, June the 16th, 2026. I am the Shark. He is Mikey Money. Mike, what's going on this morning, brother?
Shark, the real question that everybody wants to know is, will you go back and try the McDonald's apple pie? They're bringing it back after 30 years to celebrate America's 250th birthday. I can't tell you the last time I had a McDonald's apple pie. It's been obviously 30 years. I didn't realize it had been that long, Shark. Sometimes the good be gone. You don't even realize they're gone. You going to try an apple pie?
I will be refraining. I think that I would probably have severe brain fog if I ate that sugar-induced meal. But maybe we'll give it to Jared Jones after last night on the road out in Sacramento. He could certainly use it. Our guy didn't come through for us, but nice little intro, Mike. How you feeling outside of the apple pie conversation?
Hey, man, we're fired up. We're kicking ass. We're taking names. Had a great day yesterday in the Diamond, on the Diamond. And, man, if it wasn't for the Padres, I had a board sweepage yesterday. So the videos we clipped out there were perfect smackers. Some great comebacks out there. We missed on some dogs, but I think there might be a little bark in that bite today. So let's see if we can't find a way to get paid.
Yeah, absolutely. As always, guys, if you guys are in the chat, please talk to us. Drop your plays, your comments. If you're on the East Coast, it is a lunch hour. Get a nice sandwich, a beer, a glass of water, maybe a McDonald's apple pie. And if you are on the West Coast, we're not having pies at 9 a.m. It's coffee time. Let's get down to business on a suddenly not so casual Tuesday in June. Actually, the last Tuesday of the spring of this calendar year. Beautiful Tuesday it is. Let's talk some business. First game on the card, going back to Philly tonight, Marlins-Phillies game 2. Last night you saw Zach Wheeler shove. 7-0, complete shutout. Phillies have dominated the Marlins this year. Luzardo on the bump against Tyler Phillips. Mike, any thoughts about this game?
I do. Yesterday, great job, Phillies. They come out there, they crank, they did the job, they get the shutout on top of that, and that's where you kind of want to look at this here. When you're off and under in the same series, those games tend to roll, man. They seem to go under. Kind of was a free play yesterday with the thinking about it in hindsight. Now you get the dynamicism of a divisional battle between the two squads, and what was Gusto able to do? Well, he struggled a little bit out there, but I think that there's a little bit of overestimation on what Jesus is going to be able to do in this case here, and I'm not talking about walking on water here. I'm talking about the ability for him to go out there and handle this, this lineup. I think it's a lower scoring game. He does have the lefty advantage out there, but to me, this one has to be down to the fact that it's National League, early season, multiple times through with these two teams haven't seen each other now. So I think this is a sluggish little game out there. I'll tell you what, the problem I have with Jesus is Kyle Stowers, Ruiz, Connor Norby, even Xavier Edwards. I think the Phillies probably get taken to the shed today, which is really not easy to say, but there's a lot of guys that have had a lot of success against Jesus Luzardo. And so I like the under 8. I think that this is probably one of them spots where the dog can go out there and bark. I said it yesterday. They obviously got cooked, but I'll take the under 8 for my official play here.
Little disagreement to start the show. I like the over in this game, Mike. And you kind of introed me into it. I thought you were going to go the other way with this because you said Luzardo is not performing at Citizens Bank Park, and he really isn't. We've talked about this every time this guy takes the bump at home. He might want to actually revisit his contract that he signed with the Phillies and go play for the Marlins again. He was a little better down in South Florida, but he is an over pitcher at home. And you talk about this road pitcher. Very interesting dynamic here. This guy Phillips actually did make his major league debut with the Phillies in 2024. He's from southern New Jersey, Lumberton. He went to high school in Burlington County. For those of you guys in the Philly area, that is Philly Metro in South Jersey. He's a Philly guy. So he's going to come in here with certain expectations, and certainly fans and, family and friends in the stands. He looked good in his last start, and he's actually clustering unders, 4-0 versus the under this year. Key point, though, all lines 8 or lower. This actually opened at 8.5. And I think what's going to happen here is this guy's going to come on the road. It's the last Tuesday of the spring in Philly. He's got pressure on him, and he gets hit. His only other road start in the division this year, 6-1 at the Mets, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, and only 5 innings. And final point on this, we're talking about Luzardo not performing in this park. As I said, this guy started his career with the Phillies. Not very good in this park as a home pitcher for the Phillies in 2024. 4+ earned runs in 2 out of his 3 starts. Think you're going to see some runs here, Mike? This is not one of my absolute favorite plays on the board. I have to say that. We have seen the totals be very variant game to game, but I do like the over in this game. Any final comments or keeping it moving?
Oh, keep her going.
Absolutely. Next game on the card, 6:45 in Washington. Nationals hosting the Royals, game 2 of this series. Michael Wacha against Foster Griffin. When I was looking at this before, I thought to myself, we're in for a good day. We have some of the most profitable pitchers in baseball on the bump tonight. Look no further than home pitcher Foster Griffin, 30-year-old coming over from the Korean League. This guy's really kind of elevated to a high level here, Mike. Does he continue tonight?
So the Royals, on the road as a dog are definitely a position you want to fade. Over the last 8 seasons, you've cashed almost 69% of the time in that situation. I don't know about the full game, though, here for the Nationals. I know they came out, they smacked it around. They were on fire that second half of yesterday's game, and another easy W for us as part of the plays that were given out for the squad here. But the Nationals do like to take down the AL Central. They like to do it with run fashion. So overs cash quite a bit in this situation, 19-4. It feels like I'm going to open up with 2 totals here because, well, I am. And, listen, a couple spots that I saw pretty sharp yesterday. I think it goes back to it. Now, the thing about Foster Griffin is, yes, profitable pitcher. No, not a good May. And if you look at his numbers, like he was a sell, despite the fact that somehow the team was miraculously able to rally with wins and runs around this guy. So his last 2 starts have been much better than his entire month of May. So I do like a buy on Foster Griffin here. I think at this pace, one of them cases where you take the first 5 Washington Nationals minus the half and take some over 8.5 in your life.
Yeah, I like Washington in this game. And, yesterday we talked about this. Mike gave you guys the Nats yesterday. And I kind of said I didn't have a feel for it. It was Alvarez versus Spence. Not a lot of matchup data. It's not the same thing tonight. We got a lot of good data here. And Mike, as you said, Foster has looked great. And I had to remind myself earlier, he did lose his last start. Mike, you remember that start pretty well, I believe. It was at San Francisco, 11-10, the biggest comeback in the last 17 years of Major League Baseball.
Simultaneous walk-offs.
It was absolutely gorgeous, but it was not a San Francisco win due to the fact that Griffin pitched poorly. Only 1 earned run in 6 innings on a solo shot, and that has been the story for this guy. He's been totally locked in for the last month. I think he continues tonight. Not only that, he's a very good bounce-back pitcher off a Nationals loss. He is 3-0 off a loss this year. He's 3-2 at home, all as an underdog. So you talk about line strength. First time favored all year. The books like this guy tonight, and they like him for good reason. Michael Wacha, 0-2 at the National League. I think Wacha has kind of hit a wall. You look at his last 3 or 4 starts, very inflated, not performing well out of conference. And you really zoom into these teams. The Royals, honestly, are incomprehensible for me. I mean, this team looked like they were a bye team. They went to the playoffs 2 years ago, lost in the first round of the Yankees. Looked like they were scaling up in their quality. I don't know if it's the manager, it's the pitching staff, what it is, but they are an absolute disaster. They're 29-44. They're 11 under on the road. They had the 3rd worst run differential in all of Major League Baseball. When I saw that, I said, really, 3rd worst in the whole sport? Yes. And the Nats are a buy. They're 38-35, 3 over 500, plus 17 run differential, extremely solid. I think the Nats take care of business tonight. Royals really have no business playing in this stadium currently with this dynamic. Take the Nationals on the money line minus 133. and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line here. Next game on the card, series opener tonight in Boston. Blue Jays opening up a divisional series at the Red Sox midweek. Dylan Cease at Peyton Toll. Great series coming here. Both teams underperforming so far. Both teams under 500, not projected that way for the 162. You get two ace pitchers on the bump, Mike. We looking at an under, or what's going on here?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is going to be the end of the Tolle era here, or at least for the time being. Couple things going on. Again, you got to zoom in now to recent form. Some of these newer pitchers spent the first part of the season going out there, shoving, mowing everybody down. There wasn't a lot of tape on these guys. And so that kind of correlates to, well, the pitching advantage. But now that the tape's kind of been out there and we see what's happening, you're going to give me Dylan Cease, small favorite against this Tolle guy? Yeah. I mean, look, his last start, and not just his last start, but look at his last cluster of 5. The guy's giving up runs. It's a bad. Now he does eat up innings, so you got to respect that. And in terms of the series, maybe that does give Boston the stretch and the benefit down the road, because there's going to be a spot here where Gausman goes in there, Corbin goes in there, and so if Toll can come out here and eat up 5 or 6 innings, this is a Boston potentially wins the series, but not this game, not for me, not in this spot right now. I know the number looks great, but there's still a flawed team fundamentally here, and on top of that, Toll 2.28 ERA. I still can't stop looking at them runs that he's been giving up out there. He only went 4.2 the last time he faced them Blue Jays as well. And he gave up 3 earned runs. So I'm going to go back to Toronto in the well here in this spot. It's just a situation where one of the best teams right now in terms of plate discipline, the Toronto Blue Jays, literally sitting there with about a 15% strikeout rate. And that's a problem because a guy like Toll likes to strike him out. And so if you're not striking out, I just don't see how it adds up here. This is a slam spot for the Toronto Blue Jays.
I wouldn't disagree. I think that, talking about the Royals being just really poor, the Red Sox are right there with them. Every time I look at the futures market, I see that the Red Sox were projected to be significantly over 500. I mean, this GM in this situation, Scott Breslow, this has failed analytics to the max. I mean, this is just looking at a computer basically to project your team. Zero psychology. You gut the entire clubhouse by firing the manager. This is just a team going sideways and certainly not up. And Dylan Cease will shove in this matchup. He's got good matchup data generally on the road. Did look poor at the Yankees. That is the Yankees, not the Red Sox, just to be clear there. And as you said, Peyton Toll, not very good numbers in this spot. I do think the under is fairly noteworthy. Both these pitchers actually did struggle heads up versus the opponent earlier this season. Cease gave up 4 earned runs at home versus the Red Sox. The game did go under, however, 5-0 final. And Toll did struggle, as Mike said, 3 earned runs in less than 5 innings pitched. But the line is coming down. So I think what you're going to see is you're going to see a regression. The bats are not going to hit. I agree with Mike that the Blue Jays win the game, but I do think you're going to see an under in this game as well. Take the under, take the Blue Jays. Let's cash both. And let's keep it moving. Next game on the card, 7:05 in the Bronx. White Sox traveling to the Yankees. Big series here, series opener. Davis Martin at Garrett Cole. I didn't know this would be such a big dog matchup, Mike. I have a hat. I do own both. I don't know where I'm going with this. What do you think about this game?
Oh, man, hopefully it's got pinstripes and not cursive letters written in white, because this is a smack spot for the Yankees if there's ever been one here. No chance this White Sox team with Davis Martin comes out there. He's going to the big, bright lights of New York City. You got a situation with the Yankees team that's coming back, fired up, ready to attack. And, look, first in the AL East, despite their woes, they just took it to the Blue Jays. They took it to the Guardians. They took it to the Red Sox. Anybody that's standing in their way right now is getting punked. And that's what I see here. The fact that you got Davis Martin as the number 2 most profitable pitcher in baseball means that you're catching this New York Yankees at one of them lines where you look at it and say, wow, minus 132. Well, this feels trappy. Doesn't feel trappy. It's the fact that Davis Martin's cashing tickets like crazy. So, yeah, give me the Yankees. Give me minus 138. I will say this, though, Shark. I think this one has lower score feel to it here. It did open at 7.5. It has moved to some 8s, but they're not true 8s. They're kind of head fake 8s. You have 93% of the bets, 82% of the cash on the 8. It's at minus 105. So the juice is still sitting around 7.5. So I like the under full game for this thing, but the Yankees at home, minus 138. Yep. especially with Cole, man. I talked about his rehab starts before he came back into the show, and dude, that guy got us the dough. So I'm going to fire right back to him here. Yeah, bad start his last time out there. Bad start being relative, though. It was a back-to-back start against Cleveland. Second time through, I always feel like there's a little zigzag effect out there. And it was twice in 6 days that he played the Guardians. So he did go 4 innings. He only gave up 2 earned runs, but strikeouts are down a little. I'd like to see that be just a smidge higher, but that's not really been Cole's thing here as he's aging like a bottle of wine. So give me the Yankees minus 138.
Oh, Mike, we disagree. I do not have pinstripes. I have that beautiful script. The White Sox Whisperers are back, and we're in New York tonight. Get uptown, people. Billy's Sports Bar. It's a hip-hop bar. Get in there. Let's play a little Kanye West. Shout out to the city of the shy. But now, when you look at this, I'm just looking at the line, and I'm looking at the structure here. I don't want the Yankees cheap. For me, that's short. That's telling me White Sox are competitive. The Yankees are 11-2 last 13 against the White Sox. Lowest line, minus 175. This is the shortest line in 4 years. Numerically, that speaks to the White Sox for me. And very nice stuff for this handicap. Davis Martin last year actually had his last start of the season at the Yankees. It was a Thursday. It was September 25th. Actually, there was a Thursday night football game on. There was a lot of distractions. People weren't watching the White Sox play in the Bronx at that point, but he pitched well. He gave up 3 earned runs, all in the 5th. The White Sox actually had a 3-1 lead in that game on Carlos Rodon. Very good stuff here for this cap. All 3 runs scored were driven in by Giancarlo Stanton. And the only people in that game with multiple RBIs or multiple hits were Stanton, Judge, and Austin Wells, all 3 who are hurt tonight. The line in that game was Carlos Rodon minus 320. This is moving 176 points shorter 9 months later against a better pitcher. And what you're seeing here from Garrett Cole, he's a road pitcher. He's 2-0 on the road. He's 0-2 at home. He's also laboring in his last 2, 6 earned runs, 3 home runs against last 2. And something I was looking at when I started to look at the White Sox schedule, the White Sox last week just went 5-1 against the Atlanta Braves and the Los Angeles Dodgers. I called it peak week, and they certainly performed. This is peak week part 2 road. And I had to rewind here to remind myself, this team was 80 games under 500 2 years ago. Now they're over 500. And Mike, I'm going to take this out of baseball for a second. The current White Sox are the baseball version of the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons 2 years ago were the worst record in the league, 14-68. They were the 1 seed this year. This is what happens when teams catch wind and they have great players. They go from absolute worst to extreme skyrocketing quality. And I think this is where ultimately you're going to see the White Sox continue to win tonight. Absolute final point on this, Mike. That travel and that series in Toronto, for me, that's a letdown for them. Coming off divisional games, you got to come across the border, and they won both games in the 9th inning with home runs in tie games. 2 straight, huge playoff road 9th inning wins. Now you got to come home and get Davis Martin. I love this handicap, Mike. It's gonna be a wild one tonight in the Bronx. Any further comments?
Yeah, I'll give you one more play. White Sox team total under 3.5. How about that one right there? Look, the last 30 days, the worst team against righties. Now, this is a fact. You got to look at some of these things and kind of mitigate and push away some of the outside peripherals here. The worst offense against right-handed pitchers in baseball the last month, the Chicago White Sox. You played the Phillies. You played the Braves. You played the Dodgers. Do you still have the mental wherewithal to go out there and handle this New York Yankees team? We'll see. I think the line is where it is because of the fact that Davis Miller has been playing great. Got to respect it. Hats off if I wore one to him, but I see you got the buy hat on. So we'll have some fun texting back and forth about this one.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's going to be a great game. And honestly, I remember actually when I was looking at this, the Yankees and the White Sox played in that game, the Little League Park, or what was it, the Cornfield game 7 years ago. And they used to be rivals, and the White Sox fell apart so quickly. So this actually has a bit of a rivalry to it. It'll be a great game. We'll see what happens. If you guys like the White Sox, type White Sox in the chat. If you guys are telling Mike, type Yankees. As I said, White Sox fans, get in the Bronx. Let's listen to Kanye tonight. let's cash, and let's keep it moving. Next game on the card, going to the other environment within the New York baseball conversation. The New York Mets on the road at the Reds. Oh, man, I need to take a breath when the Mets come up here. Last night, I thought the Mets might actually get scrappy on the road. Scrappy meant one thing, a 12-0 blowout. This team is in shambles. Kodai Senga coming off the IL. Brady Singer also looking sketchy. Mike, the word of this game seems to be sketchy. Anything in this one?
Mets fire back with reckless abandon. I told you guys yesterday it was a red spot, and it certainly was. Best spot that you can get involved with, I think, in baseball is the rebound in the favorite role off the shutout. 324 and 207 in this situation. 61% win rate over 22 years. So you can't argue with the fact that when the books come back off that shutout and they make the team the favorite, it's for a reason. And, it's kind of contrarian in the fact that you would look at that team and think, well, they just got shut out. The books got this line wrong. And the reality is 61% of the time that's right. And that's enough of a winning edge to show that there's an opportunity for this New York Mets team. And the fact that it's come down is, I think, again, reflective of the fact that they just got smoked yesterday. And what did we talk about when we came in there and said, look, the problem with the with the Mets is they don't like to score. And so, yeah, that's going to be a situation over the long term for this team. But I said yesterday on my pregame show there, man, I've been beating up on the Mets so much. I'm actually tired of beating up on the Mets here. Tonight, I'm going to take a shot with the Mets. I think they can find a way with Brady Singer. I like runs in this game, surprisingly enough. The Reds should be able to put enough over the plate, but I think if Mets get right spot here. Plus, it's sitting at a nice little minus 113. I'll take some New York Mets.
Yeah, as I said, tough game for me. I don't really have a read here. My major issue is Senga hasn't pitched in a while. His last start was at Colorado in the end of April, Sunday afternoon. He only went 2 2/3 and got pulled. So it's been a long time. And if you guys remember, this guy's been around for a few years with the Mets. He has been injury prone. I remember even in his first season in the majors, he was in and out of the lineup. And he's just undersized, like most of these Japanese pitchers. He's 6 feet. He's only around 200 pounds. These guys are injury prone. They're not Roger Clemens. They don't really drive with their legs as much. Of course, Yamamoto would tell me to shut the hell up on that. The guy's a freaking pro athlete to the max, but it's just it's more arduous on their arm and whatnot. So a tough game for me, Mike. I'll defer to you. Mike likes the Mets. Go Mets, and let's cash. Next game on the card. Divisional baseball, not divisional baseball, intra-league baseball, National League. Giants traveling to the Braves, opening up a week series here at Truist Park. Adrian Hauser at Grant Holmes. Big line for the Braves here, Mike. This kind of falls into the category of overpriced Braves. I honestly don't love this game. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either. I take the Braves on the run line. Don't have much more to say than that. I mean, the Braves off a blowout loss, find a way to come back and stomp this season. They've been a really good bounce back team. They've done it 6 straight times. Total starting to swell to the over. It is the home team. You got 90% of the bets, 94% of the cash on the Atlanta Braves. It is moving in that direction to the tune of about 15 cents right now. So I think at that rate with this home team and the San Francisco Giants in a travel capacity, 1.5 at plus 122-ish, that feels okay to me. I'll take a shot with the Braves here to go fire it up. And I don't really care so much about the Adrian Hauser Grant Holmes pitching matchup. That really doesn't do it for me, but I think they're that large of a favorite off the bounce back spot for a reason. And I'll put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah, honestly, tough game for me, but I do agree. I think the Braves get it done. It's just a tough spot for the Giants as well. They're coming off of a win against the Cubs on Sunday. They got to travel cross country. We don't really know if it's on their body time, but 7:15 Eastern is still the afternoon Pacific time. So it could be a funky time. Adrian Hauser, just a journeyman, very unpredictable. I would look towards the Braves. Don't love the game, but certainly a Braves side, if anything. And we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, 7:40 in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, that is, American Family Field, Guardians Brewers. Facing off the number 1 team in the Central for both leagues, interestingly enough. Guardians sitting at the top of the AL Central. Brewers in complete control of the NL Central. Get Slate Coney on the bump against Robert Gasser. Can he gas it up tonight, Mike?
Dude, Gasser. What a great name. This guy's probably going to be a gas can for some time to come here. He did get busted up his last go-around. But that was at altitude with Las Vegas. And so it's hard to really get a gauge off of what he can bring to the table in this case here. The Cleveland Guardians, though, up and down team. I think, honestly, this is one of those spots where you look at the home favorite series opener off a win as a home dog are 286 and 157. So it's a little zigzag here where the books are kind of ping ponging around. I'm going to use recent form and recency bias to dictate the process here for this one. The Milwaukee Brewers have been looking unbelievable. They went 2-1 in the series against the Phillies. They kind of got caught in that horse shit situation with the Athletics having to play down there in Vegas, but they got that first game 15-14, and then they just said, all right, fuck it. They went into Coors. They ripped and rolled out there. This team's been on fire, and at minus 144, I don't want to get in front of it.
I do. I actually love the Brewers in this spot. I found some great stuff here regarding the Guardians on the road. The Guardians have played a lot of road games at the National League this year. They're 6-6, dead 500. Mike, you're going to love this. They are 6-0 if Parker Messick or Gavin Williams starts, 0-6 with every other pitcher. Incredibly polarized to the top two starters in their rotation. And Slade Ciccone is 0-3 on the road at the National League, all by margin. 5-3 at St. Louis, recently 3-0 at Philadelphia. And I think in terms of the opponent quality, at Atlanta, big time loss, 11-5. And what is the corollary point there? Run differential. When you look at the National League run differential standings, the Brewers have a plus 112. The Braves are plus 107. It's almost an identical metric point, and the Braves absolutely unloaded on this guy. Just one final point on this. We're talking Robert Gasser baseball, probably the only show that's actually going to touch on this guy. I started doing a little research on this dude. Interesting stuff. Go back a couple seasons ago. He actually started his career 5-0, 4-0 at home. And he was the third Brewer since 1984 to record an ERA under 2.0 in his first four major league starts. The only other two, Brandon Woodruff and Freddie Peralta. It's pretty good company. And after his major league debut a few years ago, the local newspaper said it was a Brewers major league debut for the ages. And I had to look at a little deeper what's going on here. He got hurt. He came back. He's 0-4 on the season, but his last home start, he only gave up one earned run against the San Francisco Giants. I think he's going to shove. I think he's totally due. And I think Ciccone gets absolutely rocked in this environment. It's incredible, incredible data here in terms of the splits. Division leaders in the Central, and the Brewers are 115 runs better than the Guardians. I see a blowout coming. I might get to the run line for you guys on X and Winnable. Great side here tonight. We're going to be drinking beers in Milwaukee, gentlemen. Let's take the Brewers and let's cash. Mike, we got a video.
Yes, we sure do. But we are on the same side then. You're not getting in the way of the Milwaukee Brewers win streak.
Absolutely not. I love it.
All right, let's go. Let's cash. Speaking of cash, you guys, if you are cashing with us, smash that thumbs up button. Show a little support. We got to get these numbers beefed up. We got rookie numbers right now. We need you guys to come through for us and smash that thumbs up and let us know if you're tailing or fading us, but leave some comments. We love the comments. Love to see what's going on with you guys, taking some time to clip this stuff up and try to give you guys cash money, baby. All we ask you to do is take a second and hit that thumbs up button.
Appreciation, always appreciated, guys. If you haven't clicked the like, click it right now. It really does help. And let's keep it moving. Next game on the card. Staying in the center of the country here, NL Central hosting out of division. Cardinals, Guardians, Cardinals, Padres, I should say. Game 2 of this series. Andre Palante against Michael King. You saw it last night. Dustin May has refound his quality. He threw a complete game shutout. It was incredibly impressive to watch. Palante, slightly different conversation. Mike struggled tonight. Mike, any thoughts on this game?
Not really. Nah, I don't love this game. I'd probably go back to the under again. Palante, for kind of some of the heat that we gave him early on in the season, he's kind of been doing a little something out there. His last start, he went 6 innings. The guy went 6.2, 6.0. He had a hiccup with a 3-pack, followed it back up with 5.2 and 6. So he's an innings eater. And I think for that reason, we can find these guys that keep the score low. Michael King in the dog roll, by the way, 19-8 to the under. Cashed 4 in a row on keeping that score down. I tried a shot yesterday with the Padres. One of my few lone losses on the card was the Padres yesterday. And the thing about that, if you think about Michael King as an under, Palante's an innings eater, the best bullpen in baseball right now with one of the strongest closers in the game are the Padres. So maybe you squirt 1 or 2 in there. This is a lower scoring game for me, and I like this under. I think that's going to get us paid.
Yeah, honestly, this is a tough game, like you said. I could see the Padres bouncing back here. He's actually 2-0 this year on the road at the National League Central. He beat Pittsburgh 8-2. He did beat Milwaukee. We're sitting here touting up Milwaukee. He did beat Milwaukee as a dog. Milwaukee was favored pretty significantly in the market there with Mizorowski on the bump. So he is capable of competing in this environment. Palante looks good, Mike. As you said, we kind of ragged him early season. He's been very good. Both pitchers should be in control. I think this is kind of a coin flip game. I think this is one of those games where it's going to be tight late. It's just who gets the clutch hits. But I could see the Padres pulling it out due to the fact that King will perform well in this spot. Would lean to the Padres, but sometimes with the Padres, I've joked with Mike after the show, just pull out your wallet, flip a coin. Don't waste 9 hours waiting for the result. I think you could see a bit of a coin flip result here tonight. That is that for that one, and we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, 8:05 in Chicago. Cubs hosting the Rockies, game 2 of this series. Edward Cabrera against Ryan Feltner. These pitchers did face off last week in Colorado. It was a blowout over 9-3. Cabrera returns home. Mike, what's going on here?
I could see the Rockies making this one interesting. You know, they made yesterday's game interesting, and I'm glad I didn't get there because a lot of people were looking Cubs run line. This is going to be a bust-up beatdown festival after Colorado comes back from that Vegas series, and it was not. In fact, the Colorado Rockies had the lead change several times in their favor. So against a gas can like Cabrera here at home, this guy's been leaking runs. I mean, he's got a 5.15 ERA, but look at his last few starts. These are home runs, 2, 3. He had a 0. He had a 1. He had a 2 out there. So he can give up the long ball. He did just face the Colorado Rockies on top of that at Coors. He went into the 6th inning with 2 home runs, 2 earned runs. And look, another under potentially brewing here. But I like Colorado to bounce back. Again, they just saw these guys. Recency bias as it will. And the fact that you've got Cabrera, not the strongest when it comes to getting out there on the home turf. Now, Feltner, when you look at his ERA, it ain't pretty, but he can give you 5 innings. And I think that's what we're going to need here for the Colorado Rockies to pick up the dub. So I like the first 5. We'll take the first 5 in this game, Colorado Rockies, and see if it can pass.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. Anybody who follows Cabrera here, obviously campaign 1 with the Cubs. He has not performed well at Wrigley. It could continue tonight. I mean, he has struggled more so in these funky matinees, in the heat and the wind at Wrigley. This will not be that. It is a night game, clearly. But I wouldn't disagree. Like, tough game for me, but this is oftentimes your bread and butter, finding the Rockies in the spots they compete. I wouldn't disagree. Take the first 5 Rockies, let's cash, and let's keep it moving. Next game on the card, 8:05 in Texas. Going back to Arlington, Globe Life. Twins-Rangers game 2. We said last night Mackenzie Gore would pitch well, and they might lose due to the fact they were traveling off Sunday Night Baseball. We were spot on with that. The bats were absolutely dead. Now you get Zebby Matthews at Kumar Rocker. Good pitching matchup, in my opinion. Mike, what's going on here?
Yeah, how about this for calls? Calls of all calls here. Gave you guys the under. Globe Life under. Said, hey, look out. But then said, hey, by the way, they like to give up runs in the first inning. And could that have played out any better? I mean, they gave up 3 runs in the first inning, the Rangers. Final score ends up being 4-2. It stays under. And, you know, at first glance, again, I start seeing this thing moving at 8.5, but I'm going to go to the Rangers. And the reason I like the Rangers in this spot, now you can look at their lefty-righty splits. You fade the Rangers against righties. You've cashed 4 spots in a row. But the problem I have is Zebby Matthews. And I like Zebby. I talked a little bit about this guy before. Matter of fact, I think last week I was on his K-prop. I think it was, I want to say it was like 4.5. And in any event, 0-3 on the road. That's sporting a 10 ERA. This might be the worst pitching matchup on the bump on the day. And I want to get paid from it. So I'll take the Texas Rangers at home to fire back, lower scoring potentially again. But Kumar Rocker does not instill confidence. You know, that's not the guy that I necessarily want to wrap wrap my rope around here when I'm trying to get paid. But look, he's 3.02 ERA. He goes 5 innings, not quite quality starts, but he can chomp on those things. And he doesn't give up home runs. He's given up 2 in his last, 6 starts. So collectively, the Twins, we know, win in bunches, lose in bunches. But I think today they take a loss, and it's the Texas Rangers that find victory.
Disagree here. I have the Twins. And if you guys remember the last game that Zebby pitched on the road, I actually told you he was going to get absolutely shelled. And he did. He gave up 7 earned runs. Because the previous game he pitched on the road, he also gave up 7 earned runs. What was the continuum point, though? Matinees. This guy doesn't like pitching in the afternoon. He likes pitching at night. He also bounces back. In his career, he is 5-1 last 6 straight up off a start where he gave up 4 earned runs. And he is 0-3 on the road. Very interesting stuff. His last road win, you got to go back to last year. It was his last road start of the season at the Texas Rangers. He pitched fantastically in this ballpark. 4-1 Twins, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, only 1 earned run on a solo shot. So he loves this spot. He loves to bounce back. He likes this stadium. And Kumar Rocker's coming in here a little too hot, in my opinion. He's off 3 straight wins. He's coming off a road win. The only other time this year Rocker caught a home win, he came home on a weeknight, early week, very similar spot against Houston as a favorite and got absolutely crushed 9-0 versus the Astros. As Mike and I both know, the Twins are a cluster team. I think Zebby bounces back. I think you get a nice number here at plus 117. I don't find myself on the Twins very often, but maybe I have a pulse on Zebby because I knew he was going to get crushed last week. Hit that game and the over in that one. I see a tight Twins win and an under in this one. Mike, any final points or keeping it moving?
Let's keep her going.
Nice little competitive rivalry here on the Twins Rangers game. Man, we make these games more interesting than I think they are even in the ballpark. But that's why you guys watch Bases Loaded. Let's cash and let's keep it moving. Next game on the card. Big dog stuff here in Houston tonight. Tigers-Astros, game 2. We told you guys last night the Tigers would take care of business. They did. 9-3 blowout. Now you get Framber Valdez returning to Houston to face Hunter Brown. Framber against his old team, Mike. Revenge is the word. Does he get revenge tonight?
Breaking news. The further reports are in. The fried apple pie will be available starting June 23rd. So you got just a week to go, but I'm obviously looking forward to that. So, hey, the challenge here is Hunter Brown's coming back from injury, right? He kind of dealt with some lower body stuff going on there. And so we'll see if he can make the return. The problem for Framber, I think is a bad matchup for him. I mean, the Astros price tag right now is disgusting though, and so it ultimately kind of whittles down to, there's not really much I like in this spot. I think probably, the Astros as favorites against the AL Central, not a good spot to be involved here, but the American League low totals do lead to the favorites. So I don't really have anything for this game here. I think we want to see Hunter Brown come back. And if he can come back, we can see this game stay lower scoring, but I can't, a 7.5. I can't get there with Detroit or, I guess there's some 8.5s out there now, but I just don't like it. I don't like this game. It's nothing I have really any. If I had to, if you gave me a free play, I'd take the under 8.5.
Yeah, honestly, I think that the Tigers keep this game close. I'm looking at the run line now because actually this has gotten so inflated. You might be able to get plus 1.5 at a pretty reasonable figure. Kalshi has minus 138. It's still a little pricey, but what I'm looking at here is certainly the motivation for Valdez to shove against his former team. We talk about this all the time. They didn't bring him back. I mean, he went deep in the playoffs with these guys, numerous times. They didn't bring him back. And if you look at his road environments this year, very polarized, actually. Very poor in the division within the Central. Got hit hard his last road start at the White Sox. Also got just completely crushed at the Twins. Yeah. But these other starts out of the division, at Boston, only 1 earned run. Was decent enough at Cincinnati. Beat the Braves on the road 5-2. Was in complete control. Pitched great at Citi Field in Queens against the Mets. 2 earned runs in almost 7 innings. Completely aced the Baltimore Orioles. 1 earned run in 6. So if it's not divisional start, this guy's in complete control. And Hunter Brown, coming back from a pretty significant injury here, shoulder injury, 60-day IL. I mean, I don't like that at all, if I'm being honest. I'm talking myself onto it. The other thing we said yesterday about this game is that Detroit is totally a bye team right now, and their run differential is far superior to the Astros. Maybe we'll get to it in the afternoon. I think that there's significant angles to the Tigers in this game, Mike. I think they're just a better team at this point.
I can't argue. Like I said, the pitcher coming back from the injury is obviously problematic. Well, it's been 60 days. It's not like it's been 6. We just saw, Scooble come back from, surgery 5 weeks ago. So, who knows what's going on there with this? This will be a sit back and see. And the worst part though, Shark, with a game like this in this matchup, we're not going to tell us anything because these teams are probably not destined to play each other come postseason either. It's kind of like they're going to be middle of the pack this year. And, if anything, maybe they'll be able to sit down GM to GM and Houston Astros can whisper sweet nothings into the Detroit ear and say, Tarek Skubal, we'll give you a pile of cash. We'll give you Hunter Brown on top of it. Who else you want? I don't know. We'll see.
No, I agree. And I think it really is just a continued point on what we said last night about this. I'm just looking at it now as the final point of this game. Houston is currently sitting here 33-41. Their run differential is -45. It's the second worst run differential in the American League. I mean, they should be far worse than their record. And Detroit has a worse record, 30-42, and they're only -6. Just forget Detroit. Any team in baseball who's 12 games under 500 should not have a -6 run differential. And you saw it last night. It was a dominant win. And our guy, Jermaine, says Framber Valdez is terrible. Jermaine, look at the splits. Divisional road starts, you sell, you buy out of the division. I think the Tigers get the win tonight. We'll leave it at that, and we'll keep it moving. Next game on the card, 4 late-night games tonight, 9:40 in Arizona. Going back to this series, we nailed it last night. Diamondbacks 4-3, a big dog win for Ryan Nelson. Now you get Merrill Kelly facing Reed Detmers. Really interesting matchup here, Mike. What's going on here?
I'll fade Reed Detmers, and I'll feel really fucking good about doing it too, because right now you're catching Arizona. Look, they battled. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a tight spot there. This is what we expected out of this series. And yeah, we got the money yesterday. I think we go back and we get the money today. There's a couple things going on here. Reed Detmers versus an opponent that's on a winning streak. So when the team's coming in red hot, or at least hot, let's not say red hot, right? Maybe it's not quite, it's hot. It's a hot team. They're coming in on a winning streak. Reed Detmers pukes his lunch up. He's 0-8. Conversely, well, we got Merrill Kelly on the bump. And when the team's on a 2 or more game winning streak, Merrill Kelly does not disappoint. He's 6-0 in those spots. So we got intersecting zeros telling us it's the Diamondback spot. I'll roll back to excuse me. I'll take an Arizona Diamondbacks, take a -110.
Yeah, I
take
would
it first 5 too. Fuck them. And you know what? This might be the trifecta spot. My bad. I got thrown off by my sneeze.
Oh, it's all good. You had to have another chance to say woo. Brian Woo's not pitching, so we got the woo. I mean, I like it. It's Tuesday. We got to liven up. I'm going to give you guys the under in this game. I think you're going to see a pitcher's duel, actually. I think Merrill Kelly is showcasing something we have told you guys already numerous times. He pitches well against, kind of bottom feeder teams. He's looked awful this year against upstart teams like the White Sox, the Brewers, the Cubs. He's looked very good against teams like the San Francisco Giants, the New York Mets, the Colorado Rockies, the Miami Marlins. The Angels fit that category. You saw it last night. Perfect example of the Angels not being able to score the baseball. They actually out-hit the Diamondbacks last night. Nelson got the win for us. He did labor a little bit, but the Angels just could not get hits with runners in scoring position. And I think Kelly will be in control of this matchup tonight. Not only that, we have good matchup data here. Kelly did face the Angels last year on the road. The game went under. He faced off against Jose Soriano, 5-1 final. The line was 9. This has moved down to 8.5, so that's line functionality year 1 to year 2. They actually think a repeat under will happen here. And it really connects with the Detmers conversation. Detmers is actually incredibly polarized in terms of the weeknight versus weekend dynamic in his totals. He's 3-0 versus the road over if the game is played on a weekend. He's 4-0 versus the road under on a weeknight. He's going to shove. You're going to see like a 2-1 game here, I think, from the Diamondbacks. I think the Diamondbacks win, but I think it's going to be a really low-scoring game. Take the under. Mike likes the Diamondbacks. I wouldn't disagree. And let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line here. Next game at 9:40. Orioles-Mariners opening up tonight at T-Mobile Park. This is the second series in the last 2 weeks. You saw these teams just face off for 4 in Baltimore. Almost feels like a playoff series here. Logan Gilbert against Brandon Young. Should be an interesting one here tonight. Mike, what's going on here?
Yeah, the Orioles have been putting their work in on American League pitchers. And, you know, when you put Brandon Young in the mix, they're 4-0 in this guy's battle in the young career that he's got. So don't sleep on this guy. And it kind of fits that profile where you're bringing in a young pitcher. We talked about like some of these guys that started day one in this season. Yeah, the tape's starting to come out on these guys, but they're still at that swing point where he's got a little bit of the edge. Do you want to back Seattle? I did talk about Seattle coming back and starting to round into form, and since then they have been doing a great job of it. But risk reward from a price tag perspective here. If you think it's going to be a lower scoring game, how many do we need to get on top of this thing here? 3-2 could get her done, and I just don't know about the spot though for Brandon Young. I talk about his record. He has got himself a nice little 5-1 cooking right now. The challenge is that expected earn run number that I've told you guys about. He's got a 4.5. His ERA is a 3. That's telling you that the future is not so bright for this young buck. And guess what? 6 starts in now. It's right around that time where they are starting to catch some tape on the guy. So his strikeout to walk ratio, it's just a 9.6%. That's kind of telling me that this guy's probably due to get popped here at some point. And maybe it could be today, but I don't want to chance it here. I'm going to stay off this game. I don't have anything yet. I'm going to have to let the later evening hour prevail. It does look like, however, the sharper bets are starting to come in on this Baltimore Orioles side of things. And maybe that could be the play. It went from 126 to 138, but now you've got 69% of the cash coming in on this thing. Whereas you've got 62% of the bets coming in on the Mariners. It's come down 4 cents. They're making the Mariners more cheap with the public hammering away on them. That's usually a red flag.
Yeah, tough game for me on the side. Going to give you guys the under in this one as well. I think you're going to see your classic, really fast-paced Seattle home game with Gilbert on the mound. And it's also a really nice dynamic to buy an under coming off a road trip where they're actually 4-0. Actually, no, I'm looking deeper here. Did they go over every single game on the road trip? We're looking at potentially 2, 4, 6, 7 straight overs. It looks like for the Mariners. That is crazy. 7 and over is the over on the road. Now they come back and the line plummets. Not only that, this is really good matchup stuff for both of these pitchers. As we said, these guys just faced these lineups last week. Young was great at home. 7-2 win. 7 innings, 0 earned runs. But the game went over due to a cluster, but he was a complete ace. Gilbert, same exact thing. He took a win. He got a win in Baltimore, 6-5 in 10 innings. He only gave up 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched. I can't emphasize enough how outlierish that is for these two pitchers to have 13 combined innings and only 1 earned run versus the opponent, and for both of the games to have gone over. That is astounding. But the books took what I just said and put it into the line. The lines in those games were 9 and 8.5. And this moves down a full run. You're looking at a really quick pitcher's duel tonight. I see 6 runs at final. Take the under. Mike likes the Orioles. And let's cash. Next game on the card, 9:40. Third game at 9:40 tonight. We're going back to Sacramento. Pirates-A's game 2. Totally missed this game last night. We thought Jared Jones would compete in California. He was abysmal from the first pitch. JT Ginn did what he always does and pitches solidly. You get Mitch Keller tonight at what looks like a bullpen game here, Mike. Any thoughts on this one?
I've got some bigger picture thoughts. Let's zoom out for a minute here. Let me tell you why the Pirates are going to start to become sellers right now, right here, right in this spot. You got the Athletics in front of you right now, and you struggled yesterday mightily against this Athletics team. It ain't your daddy's Athletics anymore. They're out there smacking the cover off the ball. You're going to go to Coors. Now, we'll put a pin there for a second, Shark. You got a team that has been messing with the mental psyche of their pitchers. Mitch Keller very well could be pitching his last game in Pittsburgh tonight. So, we'll see how that shakes out down the hump for this thing here. But On the road, this guy does have a 4.32, but look at the earned runs, man. 4, 1, 7, 6, 5. Okay, so we got an issue with pitchers. We just saw probably Bubba's the best guy they got going out there, and we'll see what he can do. He'll be starting against Colorado to open up at Coors. Is that a good spot to have this young feller be? I don't know, but then you got Skeens against Sagano. You already know we're going to be taking Sagano in that spot. You roll on down, they've got Seattle, they've got Cincinnati, they've got Philadelphia, they got the Nats, they got Atlanta, they got the Brewers. By July 15th, you're going to see this Pittsburgh team has fallen out of the limelight. They're in cellar position, and that's where we want them because they got some hot bats and they got some pitchers. Is it the time where we see Skeens get the old bailout? Do they bail out on Skeens? Could you imagine somebody acquired Skeens and Scooble at the same time? My point, though, is I'm going to take the Athletics in this case here. It is going to be time to fade. I don't know how many. I'll think about it here. I'll give a calculation how many times I think they're going to lose between now and the next 30 days. How many times will they lose? I guess it comes down to how many games they have. We'll figure it out and we'll get back to you guys here, but it's an athletic spot for me.
Yeah, I think the over is going to hit in this game. Of the 3 late night games, I have under, over. You saw it last night. The game went over, and that's kind of connects what you're saying. Like Pittsburgh is just a young team. They're pretty explosive. They're a little unregulated. The pitchers give it up. Sometimes the lineup explodes. I think the lineup could hit this situation tonight from the Athletics. Kind of looks like a bullpen game. This guy Perkins, last couple starts, gets about 4 innings. We're not entirely sure, but you also, as you said, Keller looks absolutely terrible. He might get traded. He actually pitched against the A's at home last year in Pittsburgh in September. The game went under 4-3 against Luis Severino. Key point on the line, that was an 8.5. This jumps up 2 full points. I understand this is a hitter's park in Sacramento, but it's still very noteworthy to jump up two points off a 7 final. And he gave up 2 home runs against this lineup last year. Butler got him for a 3-run shot in the 5th, and Kurtz got him in the 4th. I think that the A's will tee off on this guy for multiple home runs. I think this series just for me reeks overs. Crazily enough, we actually saw some unders from the A's last week in Vegas when the lines got up to like 13.5 and the finals were around like 10, 11, and 12. So I think it's actually kind of a nice buy low. The lines come down a little bit for them back in Sacramento, and you see a really explosive game. Mike likes the A's in this one. I wouldn't disagree. And I think this is the over. I got 3 totals in the late night card, guys. Enjoy it, and let's cash. Next game on the card, final game.
Shrek, I got one thing to follow up with here before we move on here. The official number for the first half of the season, right? They're marking baseball first half, second half. We got 24 games left in the first half of the season for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm going to say 4-20 in that next 24 stretch. When I tell you guys it's time to start fading, it ain't just playing around with the numbers out here. This is a team that's going to go on the streak, and we're going to try to get in front of it early and give it to you guys often. So I'm going to say 4-20. We'll come back and evaluate how close I was.
Yeah, it's a bold call. We will see. I mean, obviously Connor Griffin's hurt. Other guys are hurt. And Skeens just can't catch a dub. I mean, L6, like what is that? But yeah, we will revisit. I think the A's win tonight too, but I think you're going to see a lot of runs. I think this whole series you're just going to see a ton of runs.
Dude, I mean, look at the run coming up here. Skeens and Sagano. I talked about that one. Keller and Gilbert. We'll see what Keller does tonight. Ashcraft and Kirby. That's a sell on Ashcraft. There's our guy. Woo! And he's got Chandler. And then Skeens has got your boy Abbott, dude. That's just what's coming up here in the short term. This is a bad situation for the Pirates.
If Skeens doesn't beat Abbott, he might as well retire. That's all I'll say on that. Let's keep it moving. Next game on the card, 10-10, late night ball. Another one in LA, Dodger Stadium, Rays, Dodgers. Saw it last night. The Rays were right there with the Dodgers. Pinch hit home run from Rojas late in the game, 4-3. Gave you guys plus 150 on the show yesterday. Official play, winnable VIP. Did get plus 1.5. We did cash that. I think you're going to see another tight one tonight, Mike. What do you think?
I don't like the price for the Rays. To me, this is a situation where you can back the better team, in all sense of the term and the word out there. I think they were lucky with the pitching matchup they had yesterday, and I think the Dodgers take that belt off. They wind it up real nice and tight, and they smack the bottoms of this Tampa Bay Rays team. Yandy Diaz had a chance in the 9th inning where they're down a run. They're trying to squeeze guys into the sacrifice position. They just couldn't do anything with it. Struck out the whole bottom 8th and 9th inning. They moved a guy around the bases in the third. Look, I was taking the Rays were a huge parlay piece for me to close out the night there as a nice plus money score. And I'm watching with bated breath here as they're moving that runner from second to third. They get him in scoring position. Loaded count strikeout. Then they go into the ninth inning. Loaded count strikeout. Loaded count strikeout. Loaded count strikeout. Fade the Tampa Bay Rays here. This is an LA Dodgers spot for me. Just based off of strictly what I saw. Just simply what I saw with my two eyeballs last night. And you got Rasmussen and Robleski. I thought their best option was with Martinez. And they showed it. They showed that it was their best option, but we'll see what happens.
I don't get to wear this hat enough. I live in the region. The buy hat is engaged.
All right.
And, you're talking about last night. Let's talk the box score, because Tampa Bay very well could have won that game. They lost by 1. They had 8 hits. The Dodgers only had 7. And the Rays actually had an additional walk. They had 2 more base runners in the game. And you start to look at the line. Last night, the Dodgers were laying 160 with Lauer. They're laying less with Robleski. Why? Drew Rasmussen. This guy's great on the road. He's great at the National League. 20 2/3 innings pitched, only 6 earned runs, 10 hits, 3 walks. Incredibly, sustainably low whip. Basically, all runs against this guy are home runs. There's nobody on base. He's a complete ace, more than 1 K per inning. You got to go back to last year. He aced the Dodgers at home in August in Tampa 4-0. Complete lockdown. I had to look at the box score. I was like, was it the same Dodgers lineup? It was. They had all the guys in the lineup. Freeman, Ohtani, Betts. I could go on. Great matchup data here. You talk about the line. Dodgers were favored on the road, -130. This opened at -144. It's short. And you look at Robleski. Robleski's been a little hot. He's had a couple really nice home starts, not versus opponents of this quality. And Robleski did exit his last start with a hamstring issue, and he looked terrible in the start at Pittsburgh, giving up 4 earned runs, 2 home runs against in 4 2/3. So you got this guy traveling cross country. He's a little capped. He has a hamstring injury, and he gave up a lot of runs in his previous start. I don't think it improves here. And 1 or 2 more points on this. You talk about the Dodgers bouncing back theoretically off a dud game. They don't do it against the American League at home. They're actually only 2-3 straight up at home versus American League opponents off a previous home win. They're just not competing here. And this guy Rasmussen, we love to talk environmental stuff here. This guy's from Puyallup, Washington. I had to actually pronounce that name. Puyallup, Washington. What is that? It's the West Coast. He went to Oregon State University. He loves pitching on the West Coast. Since 2022, he's 6-1 on the road if the game's played on Pacific time. I think he shoves. I think Robleski's capped. The line is short. The buy hat is engaged. Take the Rays and let's cash. Mike, little disagreement, but we love the conversation, and we got best bets.
Let's go one and all. Thank you guys for watching us here live. Bases loaded Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Shark, it's a tricky card today, man. We got some spots that we just don't align with here, but I'm going to go with the Blue Jays -117. I'm going to go with the Yankees -138. I'm going to go with the Brewers -144 and the Texas Rangers -122. Last but not least here, I'll give you the Arizona Diamondbacks first 5 +102. I like this game here. Matter of fact, I like this Arizona Diamondbacks game, Shark, to be one of those special trifecta spots for us. That's where the team cashes the first 5, the full game, and the pitcher gets the win. We've got intersecting zeros, and there's a lot of plus money to be had for it. So I'm looking forward to seeing that game as the day rolls on.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'll give you guys 4. We're taking the Nationals at -133. We're taking the Brewers at -144. And we're going to take the totals late night. We're taking the under in the Diamondbacks game, 8.5, under Mariners, 7.5, and over Pirates Athletics, 10.5. That's 5 plays, 3 totals, 2 sides. And Mike, let's fire a quick parlay for the people.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go with the Washington Nationals. You got them on the full game. How about we'll go let's take slim pickings here for me.
Why don't we throw the Tigers on there on the run line?
Yeah, I was just looking at that. Yeah, I don't like that game, but okay. Tigers on the run line. We'll take the Nationals first 5. How about that? You like the Nats full game. I like them in the first 5.
Foster Griffin has been ultra clean in the first 5 as well.
And then Chalky, just take the Braves, Atlanta Braves money line.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Detroit run line, Washington first 5, Atlanta Braves on the money line. That's the 3-leg parlay that we give you guys here. Full slates could be great. Let's see if we can make some good cash with it, you guys. I'll be back, Shark, 5 p.m. We'll do a little pre-gaming, talk a little bit about the WNBA, the World Cup. Man, it turns out right now, those are 2 of my hottest sports here after coming off of a damn near clean sweep of that UFC card on Sunday. So stay hot, man. That way we don't have to get hot. What's going on with you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an exciting time. As we said, winter sports come to a close. Baseball season is alive and well. And we appreciate you guys in the chat. Our guy AOD says, Mike, M, the Machine, and Shark. You know it. We'd love to bring it, guys. We will be back tomorrow. As always, guys, manage your bankrolls. You can see Mike and I handicap this professionally, and sometimes we disagree. It's baseball. There's hundreds of games. There's thousands of games. There are hundreds of metric points to handicap every day. Keep it in line with your bankroll. You will see the light of day to profit long-term, and that is the goal. That is that for this one. That is MLB Bases Loaded on this Tuesday, June the 16th, 2026. For Mike, I am the Shark. Stay fast, stay strong, stay disciplined, and let's dominate.
I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine.